Sing! Hey, what is up guys, Zero here. Welcome back to yet another lorcana video. Today we have some more gameplay video. We have some more Blurple gameplay video for you. This is coming from my local league right after the set championships this weekend. As you can see, I'm showing off my champion mat that we won with this deck, and we're gonna try and see if we can net some more wins. We are actually up against Steelsong. This is my friend's build. So we did go to 2 set championships this weekend. The first one we won. We got this champion mat on Saturday, but on Sunday we managed to place 5th. We bubbled out of the top 4, but my opponent here actually took 1st in that set champs. He actually went 10-1, so he 2-0'd every other opponent except for us. We took 1 game off of him, so he beat us 2-1. But yeah, this match we're gonna try and take back something. We're gonna try and win at least a little bit here. So we're gonna try and take all our knowledge that we got from playing against Steelsong from this past week, from this past weekend, and hope we can apply it here and try and net the win. But yeah, we are right underway here. My opponent did get to go first. He gets a Cinderella on turn 1, and we go ahead and skip our turn 1 play. We actually didn't have a 1 drop, but even if we did, I probably still skip because Cinderella can sing, you know, let the storm rage on, all this other stuff. We didn't want to deal with that, so no turn 1 play. My opponent bare necessities us, but we don't have any non-character cards. Everything was a character card, so we escaped that. We play Tipo on 2, but my opponent with Aerial finds Strength of a Raging Fire to take it out. And I debate what to do here. On our next turn we actually do play Crab. Maybe better to just skip there, but you know, so my opponent sings Strength of a Raging Fire. He sings Let the Storm Rage On, takes it out, but maybe that was fine. At least it takes some fire away so that our later cards might be able to survive. But yeah, this was my whole game plan. I was actually debating in the beginning of the game what to keep. I had this Ursula that you're seeing right now because my opponent did shift into Ursula Vanessa, and he's bare necessitating us technically for, with her ability. But yeah, I did debate what to keep. I did have start with that Ursula. I started with this Donald Duck 2 and the Tipo. So my whole plan here, I'm up against Steelsong. I wanted to ramp with Tipo, ramp with this Donald, go into this Ursula right now, and just stop my opponent from singing. So that was my whole game plan, and I was just hoping it works. I had to keep drawing inkables. That was one thing, and yeah, everything just had to go correct for that to happen. But yeah, now our Ursula's on the board. My opponent just played a Naveen without a song, and he traded into our Donald. He played this Robin Hood now on his last turn. And we just dropped Mufasa, because here's what's happening. We have canceled my opponent's ability to sing songs with our Ursula. We dropped this Mufasa. My opponent is going to have a hard time answering this without the ability to sing songs. And we're not even going to quest for Ursula here. We want to keep her up because I like her ability, and we want to keep that active. And we see here my opponent's just going to go ahead quest. There's not much else he can do. I play this Elsa, and yeah, my opponent doesn't see a way out of this because I have this Ursula, I have this Mufasa, and he already sees it as pretty insurmountable, which is fair enough. He can't do anything about the Ursula, he can't do anything about the Mufasa. The next turn he might have been able to answer one of them, but I think he saw that from there we were just going to steamroll out of control. So let's just go into game 2. I'm glad that we just had a plan and we executed it really well in game 1. Hopefully we can keep the momentum going here. My opponent gets to go first again, of course, because we did take the first game. He gets a Cinderella out. We are going to go ahead and skip our turn just because we didn't want to play into it. He gets an Ursula out turn 2, and we're going to skip again because we don't have a Tipo this time, so there was nothing to play. We had a Snake, I think, but we had nothing to bounce, so nothing there. We did make a mistake here. My opponent shifted his Ursula into Vanessa, and he gets to discard our library off of the quest. I should have inked it, of course, but I totally forgot that Ursula comes out so early, and I was trying to be greedy and play the library, but yeah, mistake there. But yeah, my opponent is going to get Ariel out, and now he's just on the next turn. We play a Detective Mickey to get our ramp up, and he's just going to double sing, Let the Storm Rage On, take out the Mickey, and he's going to, yeah, quest again with the Ursula. And we don't have any more non-character cards, but he does assess what we have here. We do have Merlin Crab, we have the Shift Merlin and Elsa. Magicka Dispel, some very neat stuff there. It would be nice to keep the Magicka here in hand, but I deduced that everything else in our hand was a bit more important, so we're gonna try and keep it all. We go ahead and play Elsa just to try and thin the board a little bit. We take out one of the Cinderellas, but yeah, my opponent is just gonna quest out with everything. He plays another Vanessa, which it's not gonna be hitting cards in our hand, but she does sing for 2, or sorry, not sing, she quests for 2, which is a little bit annoying to deal with. But yeah, we are gonna go ahead here. We clear a bit more of our Elsa, we take out a Cinderella. I'm gonna play a Fox to not a Cinderella, we took out an Ariel thanks to Crab. And we're gonna play a Fox, bounce back to Elsa. We're gonna take out the Cinderella. Just don't want to deal with any shifting. I did realize it's a bit of a hard thing for us to deal with. It's not too difficult if we have Let It Go or something, but without those elements ready for us yet, it is a little difficult to deal with. But yeah, we are going to go ahead here. I'm going to play the Elsa again. We are going to exert the Naveen that he just played. And with that all said and done, we can run all of our characters in. So Crab runs into Naveen, buffs the Elsa we just played, and with the Fox and the Elsa, we can take out the 2 Vanessas. But yeah, my opponent is going to play his Robin Hood here. And we are going to play out our Rabbit and our Crab. I think I just wanted characters on the board because we kind of have to do some answers here. My opponent is at 16 lore. He's been questing quite a bit, and we have just been struggling to catch up. But we shift our Merlin here, and the reason we do that is we search for a Let It Go that our Elsa is going to sing on the upright Robin Hood. And we bounce the Crab so that Madam Mim Fox can trade into the Robin Hood. But yeah, here we see my opponent's going to play this Cinderella over here. And I realized that we played out the Fox, and that was our only bounce. I was planning on bouncing the Merlin, and now we don't get to do that. And we don't really have an answer to the rest of the board here where we're top decking nothing. So unfortunately, we do lose game 2 here. I think even if we kept that Madam Mim, we just could not keep answering. My opponent was top decking, but yeah, as long as he kept finding characters to play, we were kind of always on the back foot there. Not sure if we could have found something at the end of the day there, but anyway, we're just gonna go into game 3 here. So far, not too bad. At least we get to go first this time. We see that both of us miss our 1-drops, and on turn 2 we get our Tipo out. My opponent gets Mr. Shmee, and the next turn we get our library. We're gonna get our library out early, start getting us lore, and kind of force our opponent to answer it. And we're going to move Tipo onto the library before questing. And yeah, my opponent finds Ariel again. Ariel finds Strength of a Raging Fire, as she does. And with Mr. Shmee, he's going to challenge into our library, start trying to deal with it. That's kind of the nice thing that library is doing for us right now. My opponent feels the need to challenge into it, just from our previous experience, because we have tested against each other a lot. And he just found the library is quite annoying when it stays on the board. And Steelsong kind of has problems dealing with locations. They have the Along Came Zeus every once in a while, but besides that, he kind of just has to challenge into it. But yeah, with Naveen, he's going to sing, or not sing, he's going to play for free, let the Storm Rage on after singing once more, and gets rid of our Donald. We actually had the same start, Tipo, Donald into Ursula here, so I got a little excited there, dropped Ursula very hard on the mat, because I was excited to get it on the board. But yeah, my opponent is just going to challenge into the library, and he swarms the board very nicely here though, so it's a little bit different than game 1. I don't feel as safe as I did before, but we had the exact same combo here. From Ursula, we are going to play into Mufasa here, and Mufasa is pretty well protected. I can kind of confidently say we are going to be going into the next turn here with at least one of these on the board. But I debate a long time here on what to do with Ursula. I did end up challenging the Naveen just because I think questing doesn't very do much for us, and I feel like it leaves them with a lot of potential here. But we'll see that my Mufasa does not draw very well for us out of the ink, because we get 2 cards from ink when we play Mufasa. He gives us a library and a friends on the other side, which are both hit, like Vanessa can hit it when she's played, or when she quests, I mean. So yeah, that wasn't fun. We just lose a free card off of that. But now we're gonna go ahead and play the library, And I do show my opponent here our top deck because we are out of cards here in hand is Madam Mim Fox, which is terrible because we can't play it. I go ahead and quest with Mufasa, just wondering if I should bounce him back, and I end up not doing it just because I feel like Mufasa is harder to answer on the board right now than the Fox, and that proves to be true because my opponent is going to play a Whole New World. He top decks another Whole New World, so he was kind of stuck there, had to play it. But yeah, we both get to see a new hand. I'm kind of happy leaving Mufasa on the board. I did think very long on if I should bounce him, but I couldn't replay him that turn, so that ended up being the deal breaker. But yeah, my opponent finds, I think it was a Zeus, and he's going to run the Vanessa into our Mufasa to finally clear it out. We do have a library, very nice for us, but my opponent is going to find a lot of cards here. He gets more Cinderellas on the board. All these Cinderellas are making me just a little anxious just because any one of them can shift on us. He does find a Bare Necessities too, which takes out our friends on the other side, but everything else we have is character cards. One thing of note that we did draw is the Genie, and I'm already starting to worry that we have to rely on it to win the game because my opponent is swarming very hard, and I feel like we are going to have to stop it at one point with Genie just because we as Blurple don't really deal with swarming very well. So my whole plan here is I have a Genie. I'm looking for a Cogsworth because when my opponent ends up questing with everything, we are going to try and just lock everything down with Genie. But we see here, my opponent is actually going to run all of his characters here into our library. After the game's over, we can kind of see that might not be the correct move just because I feel like it wasn't enough. I think my opponent thinks he's on the back foot here, so he wants to be able to, he doesn't like the library being out while he's on the back foot like this, but he does have a lot of characters, and we do have a lot of difficulty dealing with it, so I'm not too sure if that was the right move. I think our line of play might be different too if he did end up questing with everything, but regardless, what we do here is I see that my opponent only has 2 or 3 cards left. I play Magicka Dispel because I feel like the way he needs to get back into this game is he has to play a Whole New World. So he is thinking about playing it here. I tell him I have Magicka Dispel. Is he sure he's going to do it? But he needs to because he needs cards to be able to answer us. He needs cards to sing. He needs cards to play. Which is, I love this play for me because I was super excited. I was like, wow, I look at my hand here. I get to draw so many cards and I get to keep my cards because Magicka Dispel's ability is we don't discard when our opponent makes us discard. And a Whole New World makes you discard. So I get to keep all my cards. Most importantly, I get to keep the Genie. I really wanted that in play. But my opponent does find a lot of 1-drops here. And he does sing Strength of Raging Fire to take out our Magicka. But yeah. So I have a lot of cards here, and I think I panicked a little bit. I think I misplayed this turn. So I played this Donald Duck intending to run it into Pete and survive, but that would require using my Cogsworth, which I'm saving for the Genie. So I ended up having a very awkward turn here, and it's looking pretty bad because my opponent has a lot of cards on the board. He gets to see my hand again as he quests with Ursula, and he's going to quest with everything else in his arsenal here, and this is the perfect time to drop Genie, so I'm already preparing for it. He's at 15 lore. We have to lock him out somehow. He does have a Shmi and a Robin Hood up, so that can challenge back and take out our Genie. Something we have to keep in mind here. We just have to make sure our math is correct and we can win the next turn after locking our opponent up here. So we're going to play the Genie. We're going to use Cogsworth, give it Rush. And we're going to take out a Cinderella. And that is just so that now all of my opponent's exerted characters cannot get ready on my opponent's turn here. And we're just going to quest for everything else. So good part about this move is the surprise factor. I don't think my opponent was expecting the Genie to come out and lock up on his board like this. I think he thought he kind of had it made already. So that is an important part. This might not have worked as well if he was anticipating it. But since this happened, we played a goat with the Genie, with the Cogsworth. My opponent has a Cinderella that he dropped, but it's, I think, a little bit too late here. We quest across the board. We are going to get up to 17. And we have the bounce, and we have the goat again, and we have the bounce again. And that secures us the victory. So we can go back and look at some of the moves there, wondering if some of the moves could have been better, but it's hard because I think I would have played differently if he played differently, and vice versa probably. So we did lock that up. I'm very glad that Genie showed us his worth there. I was very dead set on removing him at the end of set championships just because he didn't do anything for us during set championships, but ever since then he's kind of shown his worth. So I think keeping that one Genie is very nice, especially since we struggle so hard against swarming boards like we talked about. But anyway, super good game. I'm just glad that some of the things that we learned from set championships and before we got to apply into this match, and it just ended up being a really fun match. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you did enjoy the video. Catch you guys next time. I got some more Blurple videos coming for you, so stay tuned and I will see you later. Ciao.